Today I'd like to talk to you about cultural appropriation. Yes, me, I would like to do that. Wikipedia defines cultural appropriation as although I don't think I'm any kind of authority on this subject, I think us whiteys can get a little annoyed by this term. Maybe you or someone you know, if you're woke, has felt like cultural appropriation has been blown a little bit out of proportion. You might think it's not that big a deal, or maybe it doesn't exist at all. Although a lot of examples of cultural appropriation could just be you trying to genuinely show you like something from another culture, a lot of times this goes too far and can at best cause discomfort to the cultures that are being co-opted by us goofy whites. This is why I think it might be important to re-examine what cultural appropriation means and the damage it can cause. But don't worry, we won't get too bogged down in any kind of real-life sadness. We can do this via a fun, guilt-free ride through the stop-motion animated, musical, dark fantasy Halloween film, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh yeah, baby. I love this freaking movie so much. This is the closest thing I think feels like cultural appropriation to me as an individual. It's obviously not that, but like I could never show my love for Jack Skellington in public because it's been totally ruined by the Hot Topic community. I mean, do these people actually like this movie? When was the last time they've seen it? Do they like this stuff?
He's not home.
Where is he?
He hasn't been home all night.
Do they like this stuff?
Nothing's more suspicious than frog's breath. Until you taste it, I won't swallow a spoonful.
Anyway, this movie came out in 1993, directed by Henry Selick and produced by Tim Burton, based off of a poem and a concept he had, and a VHS of this I watched on vacation one time is the second movie I ever remember watching, and I've seen it a million times, and I know the stories and I know the rhymes. The plot follows Jack Skellington, the pride and joy of Halloween Town, who has led the excellent Halloween celebration for years. They don't get too detailed with it, but I guess the Halloween celebration is just a really elaborate musical number where they're just trying to show off how scary they are. I wonder how it works or what the motivation is, because if they all rehearse the song together a bunch of times, what's the point of the performance? Maybe they just have the melody and the order of appearance figured out beforehand, and then each individual is really trying to wow the other townspeople with their little feature. Anyway, Jack is getting pretty bored of all this Halloween stuff and feels like something's missing in his life, so he goes on a little soul-searching in the graveyard in the woods and eventually comes across the circle of holiday trees we saw at the beginning.
What is this?
Except it's not that same circle of trees because that one had the door to Halloween Town in it, and this one obviously doesn't because we're already there. And assuming Jack uses a different circle of holiday trees in Christmas Town to get back later with all of them except for the Christmas tree door, then where is the circle of trees we're seeing at the beginning with all of the holidays? Is that the regular Earth where we do end up going later in the movie? Anyway, he loves this Christmas door and falls right into Christmas Town. He sings a song, you know the one.
What's this? What's this? There's color everywhere. What's this? There's white things in the air.
The important thing to recognize here is how he's talking about Christmas Town. He's coming at it from a completely ignorant perspective. He does a good job of observing everything he can and taking it all in, but he has no idea what's going on. I mean, literally the whole time he's just saying, "What's this?" And his standard for getting excited about a new place is that absolutely no one's dead. Probably most of the other holiday doors have alive people in them too. He does his best to learn about the town, but he's too scared to actually engage with anyone in an appropriate way. However, you can't really blame him for hiding everywhere. I mean, anyone in Christmas Town would probably be terrified of him. But the main point I'm trying to make here is Jack is someone from a very different culture with no real knowledge of the culture he's observing, and he quickly becomes infatuated and obsessed with it. Think of it almost like a businessman having a midlife crisis and going to India to try to convert to Hinduism for a few days, or going on an ayahuasca adventure or something like that. Then, much like that businessman might, Jack comes back to town dressed in funky foreign garb with a bag of souvenirs. Everyone is thrilled to have Jack back, and he can't wait to try and explain all his findings to the community. Right away, he describes it as peculiar and impossible, then goes on to incorrectly explain a couple of Christmas traditions that are even further misunderstood by the people in Halloween Town. Obviously, if Jack is their frame of reference for Christmas Town, they aren't going to get the vibe Jack got, and he realizes that, so he twists Santa Claus into a Halloween monster to please the crowd.
Well, at least they're excited, but they don't understand that special kind of feeling in Christmas land. Oh, well.
Jack goes home and tries to analyze Christmas stuff scientifically, but he just can't quite get it. He comes to the conclusion that if he can't understand it by reading books, he'll have to become Santa Claus and take Christmas for himself.
And why should they have all the fun? It should belong to anyone. Not anyone, in fact, but me. Why, I could make a Christmas tree, and there's no reason I can find I couldn't handle Christmas time. I bet I could improve it too, and that's exactly what I'll do.
With Jack as Santa, the townspeople all try and act like his elves, making scary and often extremely dangerous presents that Jack then delivers to a bunch of houses, causing crazy chaos, getting shot down by the military, and ruining Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all and to all a good night!
He realizes he's messed up pretty badly and rushes home to save Santa, the only one who can really save Christmas, while also finding some motivation to be the Pumpkin King again, and realized that what he was missing was affection that was actually meaningful and relations with someone other than his dog. Okay, so it's pretty silly, but you see what I'm getting at here? It's kind of a fable about potential dangers of trying to adopt another culture that you aren't a part of or don't fully understand, and the damage it can do, but also touches on the importance of experiencing other cultures. The townspeople are all wowed by the snowflakes at the end when Santa actually revisits Halloween Town after the very traumatic experience he had there.
Now look what you've done!
Maybe if all the holiday communities hadn't isolated themselves from one another, the whole nightmare would have been avoided. But I also wonder if the other holidays do hang out, and Halloween Town is the really scary one that no one interacts with. Christmas Town and Easter Town have to know about each other, and I'd imagine Santa knows about all of them. I wonder if he kept Halloween Town a secret from the rest of the holidays because he knew how much they'd be scared of it. Maybe he's the real villain, and he had it coming for isolating Halloween Town for so long from any other society. Either way, this is cultural appropriation to an extreme degree. However, it's kind of like how a lot of popular artists dress up in foreign outfits just for the look or aesthetic of it, without having permission from that culture or oftentimes not fully understanding what they're even wearing. I think my point, and the important thing to remember, is that there are consequences for cultural appropriation. And even if most examples don't involve killing people with live Christmas wreaths, people do get hurt and offended by having their culture co-opted. And yes, everyone has the freedom to decorate their house however they want and wear whatever they want, but that freedom comes with the responsibility to not impose upon our fellow human and not be racist. That's all. I like this movie.
Santa Claus, huh? Ooh, I'm really scared. So you're the one everybody's talking about. You're joking. You're joking. I can't believe my eyes.